Guys, Romie here. Look, it's finally starting to pick up, and I appreciate that. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9, episode 6. Tastes like trouble. It starts off with, Phaedra with the whole bomb scare, and I'm glad that Phaedra cleared it up. This is what happened in a nutshell. Phaedra, now what was with that scheduled paparazzi in front of her office? I'm like, okay, alright, let's move the story along the line. Now, Phaedra has this board meeting with her mom, with her brother, also with the Nation of Islam's, 10,000 forces or something like that. Essentially the security portion. And they just had a roundtable discussion about what actually happened. The issue was that Phaedra's people, well, the ones in the hoity-toity law office, had this black man that appeared disheveled and was just kind of ranting and raving about, listening to his music, and he's going to blow up, and it's the bomb. It's like the guy he's a rapper, and his name is Drama. Now, Drama is actual friends with Phaedra. Phaedra's like, I have no issues with him. He has no issues with me. He went into this office, and, he can come off a certain way, and so I'm not surprised that, it was 10,000 fearless. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they thought that he was there to go and do a bomb threat because they racially profiled him. And they're like, wait a minute, Phaedra, why are you working with people that go and do one of the things that you're against? Okay, so that's one thing. And she lets it be known that he was just talking about how his music's going to blow up. He was just using certain vernacular that they were accustomed to, so they were looking at him like, oh, hell no. But in general, this has rocked Phaedra regardless, and she still decided to bring in a new security team, which I'm thinking, all these people are famous to a certain extent. Why don't they have better security? I don't care. This situation wasn't an issue at all. This was a huge misunderstanding / profiling. But why don't you have better security, period? Once you get to a certain level, once a certain amount of people know your name, because some people are cuckoo, and they don't have a problem going and saying, I actually will blow you up, I actually will stab you, I actually will shoot you. Well, we get to Kenya's house, and Cynthia's there, and Kenya and Cynthia had heart-to-hearts, because they both talk about their current situations. Cynthia talking about how her and Peter are having issues, because Cynthia went on, the media tour, and while she was on the media tour, she actually said some things about the divorce. And so Peter felt a certain way. So then Peter wanted to say his side of the story. So he went on to Wendy Williams' show, I remember that, and spoke his piece. And now Cynthia's just like, oh, I just want this to be amicable. Really, she's saying without saying, I want this to go through without a hitch, so it goes quickly. And if Peter contests it, then it could stretch on. And we'll get to that formality when we're talking about Phaedra. Kenya's talking to Cynthia about her situation with Matt. How Matt wasn't there for his own birthday party, even though we now know that Kenya sent Matt out the day before. I'm just like, Jesus, Kenya. This whole storyline that you're trying to create again. We get it. Matt plays a part in it. But you're definitely putting 20 on 10. Not with how he's handling things, but how you're kind of aiding in making certain things look the way that they shouldn't. With the fact that you buying him plane tickets the day before this surprise birthday party that you wanted to throw him. It's just like, it's just so hard. It's just so hard. So we're going to get from that, because I'm going to get to that at the very end. Candy is talking with Todd, and Candy's still over. It's just like, this still isn't open yet. Todd's like, give it another month. Candy was like, what? Because it's mainly my money that's going into this, but you better go and figure this out. And I'm like, this doesn't look that much better than what we originally got. It definitely looks like they've been working, so that's not the issue, but it's just like, but we get it. Because Candy's like, the liquor license, we need to make sure that we can get that permit within a certain period of time. That's why it has to be done within a certain period of time. Because if we have a liquor license, then we're not going to be making actually real money. And Candy wants to go and at least show the ladies that that she's progressing with the restaurant, and have them do a taste testing. Just to see, again, that she's actually progressing. That this isn't just, oh, I'm going to do something and then it falters. So we're thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but right now, do you want to bring all the ladies together? Portia brings her family together so that they can go and have a conversation about what's really going on. And why is it that Portia goes and tells them that, because Portia has to move out of her house. She has, what was it, 45 days. Portia said 3 weeks. Her mother and sister went, wait, well, at least 3 weeks. So she has 45 days to go. I'm thinking, Portia, why don't you go and double that? To get out of her house, because remember, she leased it. She leased it, and she wants to get a bigger house. We're like, why? But shout out to Portia, because people didn't think that she could actually afford the house that she was currently in. And while they were, moving stuff around, Portia was found her wedding dress, and I guess Cordell messed it up while she was out of the house or whatever. That doesn't really matter, because Portia wants to say she wants a family, and this has to be with Todd. They have this look of, Todd? They're like, we don't know who a Todd is. So it's like, yeah, because she was dating someone else while she was dating Todd. So that's why the family never knew about Todd. And she's talked about how he has 2 kids, and he's the one who actually raised them. And he's a good guy, and he's always wanted to be with her. And his last name is actually Stewart as well. And they're just like, oh my gosh, Portia, really? It's like, yeah. And he even messaged her when she originally got married and said, oh, you married the wrong Stewart. And I was like, oh, Portia. I was like, yeah, I know. This could actually be the real deal, Holyfield. So Phaedra is with her mom. And again, they just kind of talk about how they got everything together with the new security team and how thankfully it was a misunderstanding. It was racial profiling. Sorry about that. Her mom was like, of course, I got you. You already know your kids were good. Come on now, stop it. And that was going on when she went in with Apollo, so the timing of it all was just really messed up. Why did Mama Joyce look like she was dressed up as the 2016 version of Mary J. Blige, of an older Mary J. Blige look? Instead of in black, in like a tan beige color. Mama Joyce goes and meets with, what is it? Randy Stellers, the lawyer. And he had this look of, Jesus, am I really doing this scene right now with this woman? Yeah, I guess so. And Mama Joyce, because I have to go and speed this process up, because she dragged it out. Like I said, Phaedra just wanted to let it be known that here's the issue with Apollo. Here's the real issues. She didn't actually go for the divorce initially. Apollo went and said, I want the divorce. Phaedra complied. I'm like, okay, it's a story that we're going with because it's coming from her lips. That's the only thing we have to go off of. Phaedra complied. With Phaedra complying, then the process started. Apollo then said, oh, you thought it was serious? No! It's not going to go down like that. Nope! And because of that, everything got stopped. Mama Joyce is trying to tell this lawyer that isn't it Georgia law or law in general that a divorce can go pretty quickly if both parties are willing. But the man was like, yeah, it could take, realistically 2 months or so if everyone's compliant and all the paperwork gets signed, regardless if the person's in jail or not. Sometimes it does speed up the process. Mama Joyce is like, I'm right. And she said, she was like, see? And I keep my ear to the street and my knowledge from the streets, and I didn't have to walk on them. Mama Joyce is too much sometimes. I love her. I really do. But here's the thing. Mama Joyce doesn't know the full story. She is going with the whole concept of, oh, they both wanted a divorce, so it was going through, and so it's like, why is it taking so long? If someone contests a divorce, it could take years to go through. Anyone who actually spent any time in law, period, knows that. That is a fact. If you contest divorce, if one side is unwilling and puts up a fight, it's not going to go through. It's not going to go through because there's many routes that you could go and it could still get railroaded. It's one of those things. It is just one of those things. And that was the issue allegedly with Phaedra. Kenya goes and she's talking with, I believe, Cynthia, because, you know, she's trying to call Matt. Matt isn't picking up. Her and Matt had a lot of great times, and she just wants some closure. If it's over, it's over, but they need to talk. Candy's chef, Jay, he's cooking everything. He's cooking the fried chicken, collard greens, baked macaroni and cheese, and it looks like it's well done, exactly how you're supposed to do it. I don't want my macaroni and cheese to just be... Why am I saying it like I still eat dairy? No. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat poultry. I don't eat pork. I don't eat beef. And looking at this food made me want it so bad. Anyway, the old lady gang gets invited, and they bring some stuff. It's like, okay, so I'm like, did they bring dessert just to make sure if they didn't like the stuff, they had something to eat? I don't know. Sometimes they do me a little shady, so I wouldn't be surprised. But Mama Joyce is just like, you know, I'm here because we need to talk. And we need to talk about, it's like, okay, so who else is coming? Well, so-and-so. Phaedra. Oh, Phaedra's coming? Oh, I got some words to speak to her. Oh, with that divorce or lack thereof, or that fake bomb threat. Oh, Lord. Then that boy said he wanted to blow her up. Jesus. Blow her up sky high or down to the ground. I'm like, Mama Joyce is too much. Mama Joyce is too much, and I appreciate it at some points. And everyone's starting to come together. And I'm just going to start from when everyone's at the table. Now, here's how this whole thing starts off. Sheree wants to go and tell Mama Joyce the fact that Kenya said something about, oh, that old lady Mama Joyce wig. And Mama Joyce is like, oh, you're going to wish that you looked like me when you become my age. It's like, you don't want to come for me. You do not want to mess with it. And Ken's like, no, definitely not. Cynthia's still rocking her big hair. And Phaedra comes at the same time. So then Mama Joyce says, you know, Phaedra, I want to speak to you. It's like, oh, okay. Kenny's like, oh, no, nope. We're not doing this today. So Candy stops it because Mama Joyce wanted to talk about, you know, I just wanted to go and wish you well on your divorce. Why would you? Anyway, the conversation shifts because Phaedra does talk about what actually happened. She's just like, yeah, it was racial profiling. She works with some upscale, you know, out of touch people in one of her offices. And because of that, they heard this man and they looked at him and they assumed that when he was talking about bomb and blowing up, that it was an actual bomb. He never said grenade. He never threatened my life. Because Mom Joyce was like, oh, well, I heard that the man wanted to go and blow you the F up. I was like, what? And then she said it again. Oh, I heard that this man wanted to go and blow you the F up. Oh, Jesus. Phaedra said, no. We're actually friends, and I don't have an issue with him. He doesn't have an issue with me. Again, it was a big misunderstanding. This is like, oh, so he doesn't want to blow you that. I'm like, Mama Joyce, stop it. Stop it. This is funny, but stop it. And she was like, yeah, we do have to do better. Candy said, hold up. You're talking about Black Lives Matter. Stop with that bull, because you're saying all this and yet you still hired security because you went and called and checked with my people to make sure that your security had a place to go and be hidden so that he could come to my event today. Stop it. I'm like, Candy, where are you having this? Because this is like in the back of a warehouse or something. Not a warehouse, but a storage area. So I'm like, okay, all right. The narrative switches because Sheree, for whatever reason, wanted to bring up the whole block situation. It's just like, oh, so what's going on with your baby daddy? Sheree had this, Katie had this look of, really? Even Mom Joyce had this look of, I'm not getting into this BS. Even I know when to quit. Call it quits. And Candy was over it because Candy was just like, we haven't talked. We had one conversation. It didn't go too well. It is what it is. And then Sheree moving the storyline along. If you watch my videos, you know that I've been doing this recently, where just like when someone who moves the storyline along, that's RHOA. RHOA is the storyline mover of the show. She's the one where production is just like, okay, so this is what we're going to talk about, this is what we're going to do, and you know, if you ever feel a lull, it used to be Kenya, but now it's RHOA. If you ever feel a lull, this is where you go and switch the narrative. Oh, well, Portia, I know that you used to date Candy's baby daddy, so what did he say about Candy? It's like, RHOA, what? RHOA, this is so messy. And Portia's just like, first off, because the people are trying to say, oh, slept together. I didn't sleep with him. We did kind of casually date. And I'm thinking, wait, so we casually dated and he gave up all this information about Candy? That's interesting. That speaks more so on him than anything, if that's the full storyline. Regardless if maybe Portia was just saying that they even slept together because she was like, it's none of their business if they did or didn't. Which it's not. It's not. It doesn't matter. I can believe that she didn't. It's just like, okay, sure. Because it was like, yes, it was after Riley was born, and he painted this narrative that Candy doesn't let him see her. And then Candy's just like, well, you know that that's not true. It's like, yeah, I know, we actually talked, and you were like, no, he actually doesn't go to see his own daughter, so that's the real problem. And after all that, the dinner was basically done, because Candy was over it. She was over it. Cynthia goes, and she visits the lawyer. The lawyer gives her great news that, because Cynthia was thinking, gosh, with the issues that's going on with Peter, that maybe she's not able to go and get this process done. It's going to take a couple of months, like he said, or possibly worse. He said, no, Peter wants this done quickly. Peter wants this done and over with. So this will be done within, what was it, a couple of weeks? In a couple of weeks, you'll officially be divorced. And she was like, how does this work? Well, you get not a certificate, you get a declaration of divorce, and you can part ways. It's like, oh, okay. So it's like, I don't know how to feel. I'm thinking, you better know how to feel. You're the one that wanted this. Stop it. You know you happy. You know you happy. Oh, then we're not going to be together. I'm thinking, yeah, you're not going to be together. That's what you wanted. Kenya is going, and she's doing the most because she's on the phone with Matt. Well, she's on the phone with Cynthia, letting her know that Matt went and came back to her house last night and kicked her glass garage window open. And she's just over it. She doesn't know what to do. See, this is like, you need to press charges. You need to get out of that relationship. What is wrong with you? Kenya has to talk with the producers because she's just so frustrated right now. And I'm like, well, Kenya is crying and boo-hooing. These dogs are playing around. Like, production is so messy. They're like, it's more entertaining to watch these dogs in the secret. Jeez. And then Kenya calls Matt and has Matt come over. Matt comes over, and Kenya's just like yelling at Matt and saying, what's wrong with you? You and your anger issues, and you weren't there for me. I was good to you. Matt's like, hold up. And this is where my story kicks in. Matt did a separate interview and talked about how, Kenya, here's my problem with you. You went and you booked me a trip the day before my so-called surprise birthday party. That's one. Two, you always talk down to me and you're very condescending and you fight with your words. I never hit you or even acted like I was going to. I hit things sometimes. I break things sometimes. I'm young. I'm a little mature. I accept that. But you're trying to paint this image of, well, obviously Matt needs to chill, because that's still not okay. I want to make sure that's very clear on that front. But Kenya, and we'll continue on Kenya. Matt was saying how Kenya, does things to paint him in a certain light, which we know is true. Tries to go and create this storyline of, well, how did Matt get there so fast? I'm like, it takes a moment from getting from A to B. Was Matt like across the street or down the road or something? Like, what's really good? What's really good? But yeah, so that was the whole situation. Matt was over it because he feels like Kenya is painting this narrative of him, which we know to be true. Kenya's over it because she's like, I don't need to be with someone like... I'm thinking, well, Kenya, you could easily go and say, here are your things, bye-bye. So you're just trying to create this scene so that you could go and make people understand where you're coming from. Understand. I understand. I completely understand on that front. But on the other front, I believe that you've been kind of playing around with Matt, and so this is partially what happened as a result. It's not okay with him breaking things, being physical, because that's scary. But I'm looking at you like, Lord, why is there always something, Kenya? Why is there always something? Why? Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week. This episode was good.